something that I realized somewhere down the line, when you're telling people to create a press kit, that is not what design portfolios are. Design portfolios are designed to be hired. Nobody creates press kits because nobody knows about this. Somewhere fundamentally down the line, I realized that your portfolio is a design project. Your portfolio cannot be created again in a vacuum. I'm using the vacuum term a lot, but your portfolio cannot be created with just the mindset of showing to employers. When you create a portfolio, treat it as a project. Think about who your client is going to be. If your portfolio has the potential of being showcased on a design platform, tailor your portfolio for the design platform.
So Sarang, you've penned over 7,000 articles for Yanko Design, right?
Almost 8,000 at this point, 7,950 or something like that.
Right. That's intense. How did you do this? And how proud are you to achieve this?
I've been doing it for about 10 years at this point, so it's a very slow burn. If you look at 10 years, almost 1,000 articles per year, output an average of about 3 or 4 articles a day, which seems like a lot, but not considering the most articles are about 400 words, 300 words. So it's just like a short burst of poetry. So yeah, it's kind of routine at this point, and I can look at a design and just blurt out stuff, which I think a lot of art critics do. So in a way, this is sort of design criticism.
So when you're writing these how many submissions are you getting?
The submissions, so the way we look at it is where we've also got submissions, but a lot of it requires us searching the internet for relevant stuff. Because we know what our users are interested in, and we also know what the algorithm is interested in. You can't just be a slave to your users. You have to also cater to an algorithm which pushes your content out.
Right.
So news works very well. Concepts for like famous companies works very well. So like a lot of nothing related concepts work very well. If you want a nothing complicated, it's transparent technology.
Okay.
Or if you're designing concepts for Apple, those work very well.
So what is the core of all of this? What are people actually looking for, if you had to break it down?
So people, the entire genesis of Yanko Design was to create a safe space for young designers as well as seasoned designers. We don't discriminate at all. If you go to Yanko Design, you will find someone with 1 year of design experience, but you also find someone who's running a team with 100 designers who have collectively like probably hundreds of awards. The idea is that creativity has no qualification or degree or pedigree. Creativity is creativity. Our basis of judging whether a design is Yanko worthy is it clever? Is it creative? And is it creating a conversation around design and creativity that gets pushed further down the line? So one thing that I usually mention about Yanko Design is the fact that we were showcasing foldable phone concepts probably 10 years before foldable phones were even a thing. And the thing that makes me very proud is that in a way we feel like we've created that hype. We created the hype around a transparent iPhone back in like 2010 as well. People were designing transparent iPhones, see-through iPhones.
Right.
And now you'll find reels of how someone is showing how good a Samsung display is, where it is placed on like a couple of coffee beans and you've got a wallpaper that is coffee beans. Pata nahi chalta because the display is that much, so that illusion of transparency. All that demand is getting created through Yanko Design. So
you guys are starting trends.
We are foreseeing what people find interesting and then propelling that further.
Right.
Or foreseeing things that are creative or that are helpful and propelling those further.
Right. Through these creative processes, has anybody gone viral or their life has changed? Like, has that ever happened?
There have been a lot of people, I can't think on the top of my head, but there have been a lot of people who have started their companies or started their journeys through Yanko Design. So a lot of people have come to us probably 15 years later and be like, oh, you know what, Yanko Design featured us back in the day. And that really gave me the confidence, or that really gave me the exposure. In fact, even my story sort of began like that. I graduated from college in 2014 and I was applying for jobs. And obviously, like when you have a basic portfolio and everybody is competing with the same level of caliber, the thing that stands out is whether you've won awards or whether your work is genuinely like exemplary, has it been showcased everywhere. So I thought, I'll take one of those projects of mine and I'll send it to a couple of blogs. If it gets featured, then I have that, street cred. Chalo,
Right.
look, my work has reached these many people. My work is noteworthy.
Right.
So just to make my portfolio stand out, I submitted one project to Yanko Design, and it picked up. It got picked up by Yanko Design, and I noticed a lot of people visiting my blog, like people from Turkey and people from random countries, people from Colombia and major countries across the world, like Japan and Korea. A lot of people were just visiting my blog, and I wouldn't see that as a student. Like your student work doesn't usually reach Japan.
But what does this give you other than validation? One being okay, you are getting recognized. What else does it bring to you being a student, seeing that these people across the world are seeing your work?
It brings me back to like the question where you asked me about how the benefit of being showcased on Yanko Design. It's just, in a way, it's free promotion of your skills, of your idea. It just helps to be showcased.
How does the whole question is, how does the validation really matter?
Why doesn't it matter? I mean,
Couple of things like architects I've worked with, they're like, I don't want to publish my work. I don't want it has to be word of mouth. Then you're just like putting this work onto a platform and say you can get a lot of validation. Right? What are these different school of thoughts?
I believe that if your idea is not reaching as many people as possible, your idea is not fulfilling its goal. You can't design in a void and be like, you can't judge your own idea in a void. Other people have to judge your idea for you, right? That's exactly the purpose of design. It is human-centric. It is not self-validation. Similarly, like if you're validating your skill set, that skill set gets validated by other people, not by you. You don't hire yourself at a company, the company hires you. So I personally think your idea or your concept reaching as many people does impact your validation as well as your concept, because I do feel like a lot of people will give input that will be here to help your ideas.
Right.
Do not design in a vacuum. That makes no sense. Unless you have an NDA, unless you've got some sort of obligation where you're supposed to keep things secret, don't keep your concept secret. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't benefit the world, and therefore it dies before it can actually achieve its goal.
I think a lot of people don't put their work out also because they feel like it'll be copied and somebody will just like take their design over, idea over, and like just make it before them. How do you comment on that?
We're at a stage where so much can be done on your own at this point. If you're creating a concept, you can definitely 3D print it. You can find out how to patent stuff. You can run your copy by an AI and figure out how to create a website. If you create a website, automatically on the date that your website is created, you do have some sort of claim in terms of कि मैंने ये पहले बनाया. This is proof that this has existed on the internet far before someone else has created it. Those tools exist today. So you can't possibly be scared that someone else is going to copy it, because if you are not moving at the speed that other people are moving, then you're losing the race.
Yeah, I feel like the whole fear around copying, I don't agree with it. Like, first of all, if somebody can copy it, then maybe you've not pushed your design to that level. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like that easily just looking at like something which is published, because there's so many details which goes behind a design.
Imitation is also the sincerest form of flattery, as लोग बोलते हैं. So, I mean, if someone is copying your idea, even in the most offensive sense of chalo theek hai, your idea has been copied, someone else is earning money, at least you know that there is validation. Someone else has created a business plan around your concept. If that is not the greatest thing ever for you to learn from, and I don't know what. And I personally also felt this happened to me a lot, where I've held ideas very close to my chest, and then 2 years later I found out that someone else has won a design award for a very similar idea. And what the hell? Yeah, I mean, I could have easily won something like that. I wanted to create like a template switchboard, where when you walk into a house, you don't know what switch does what. So my idea was to create a switchboard that sort of looks like the map of a room. So if a room is L-shaped, the switchboard is also L-shaped, and the switches are also strategically placed at those places.
Okay.
So you know that if there's a corner, there's a tube light over there, the switch at that corner handles that tube light.
Right. Right.
Someone designed it and won the award, and I was just like, "Oh, go ahead."
Yeah, so might as well just put your idea out there, right? Like at this right time, once you've figured it out. Don't keep it to yourself forever.
Especially when you have AI, you can just instruct the AI to create the images for you. You don't need to learn CAD software. You just need to have an idea and need to be able to talk to an AI.
Right. Yeah.
That's all you need.
Okay, now your shift happened from a product designer to a writer, right? Storyteller. How did that happen? And does it really help to know the product design background so well that I know that personally your workflow is to also design these in 3D and you explore it by yourself as well. How does that change it from like any other writer? And like, what's the whole process like?
Apart from the fact that there's money involved, and product design does not pay as much as writing about product design, but okay. I also sort of noticed somewhere along the line that the creative industry has a lot of positions that we don't realize. Like, look at you, for example, you're podcasting, you're fulfilling a role within the creative industry without necessarily doing what you studied in college. You studied architecture. You can podcast and further the goal of the industry through podcasting as well. I also realized that while I was writing about design, there was a void within the design community where designers create stuff and then they expect other people to understand stuff. That's not the case. So when I write about design, I like to say that, you know what, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, I write those 1,000 words. That's how I describe my profession. And someone that I do look up to is this guy called Gary Hustwit. Not many people would have heard of him outside the creative industry, but for the design industry, he studied industrial design and he became a filmmaker. So a lot of his most notable works are creating a documentary called Objectified, which if you ask any industrial designer, they have seen Objectified. It is one of the most valuable documentaries on the industrial design process. He also created the documentary called Helvetica. So a lot of graphic designers will realize and recognize his work that the Helvetica documentary was created by him. He also speaks about how the design world has a lot of roles that you don't learn about in college. And you should see what your skill set is and fit into those roles because you're serving a purpose in the industry. Whether it's what you studied or not is out of the question. Like podcasting again.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we just hold on to the one thing which they've taught, but we need to understand how you can actually use this skill into other things as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is basically learning a base of anything, right? And then taking what you want to take from it, right? So when we talk about podcasting, when we talk about writing, we can do this because we've learned something from there, from designing, right? We've already experimented.
Absolutely.
And that helps. I'm sure
we are all inherently very good storytellers. If we are
Yeah.
designers have
That's
a
the
storytelling instinct.
Yeah.
Some people may not be able to put it into words, but some people put it into visuals better.
Yes.
Right? Which is why people go into visual storytelling. So it's just a question of how you tell stories.
We are taught to present our designs, right? So it has to be, there has to be story to it. And like, till the time there's no story, I don't think we also feel calm or like good about it, saying, okay, how does this really connect? Like, how is it serving a purpose at the end of the day?
A lot of people also write to me, I won't say a lot of people, but a decent amount of people have written to me saying that, you know what, you've captured my project in words better than I could have captured. And I'm like, that is my job.
Right.
You know, thank you for giving me the fodder that I could create this article. And they are also like, thank you for creating this article because it has encoded into words what I wanted to express but couldn't express through words. So again, it's a very collaborative effort.
Right.
Don't design in a vacuum. Design for as many people to see because that's how designs evolve.
Yeah.
Your design is not going to evolve otherwise, and that's like a very, very bad thing to do to your concept.
Yeah. I think I want to tell everybody to send all the designs they can. Like
Everybody should also watch the T-Scales podcast.
Yes, we're just plugging it in right now. But like, when did you know that, I mean, right now I see so much passion in you about writing, right? When did you know that this is it? Like, I can do it, say, now 10 years?
I started, so I feel like my journey was full circle because I started sometime in school, collecting a lot of these gadget magazines. There was a magazine called T3 and Tomorrow's Technology Today, T3, and it was a magazine called Stuff. And I still probably have like an entire battery of those at home. And my dad and I were very interested in gadgets. So I just keep up to date with like the latest tech through these magazines. And I would read about them. And somewhere deep down, I was like, you know what? I want to be able to do something like this. Later on, I learned about mass communication. Then someone randomly told me about NID and about design. And I was like, you know what? Screw the writing part. I want to design. Like, I can make stuff. So I went to design college, studied everything over there, and then came out and again, like my work got featured on Yanko Design when I was just a new graduate.
Okay.
And then that spark sort of rekindled, you know what, I can write. Because I saw what that person had written. I was like, this is very achievable for me also. So I applied for the job at Yanko Design also because design wasn't paying as much as I was hoping. And Yanko Design was a partial income. But somewhere deep down the line, I also realized that, you know what, maybe I'm better at writing than I am at designing because something comes much more naturally to me. I was feeling much more creatively fulfilled in Yanko Design. I was getting to travel. I actually got to meet a lot of really, really impactful designers from across the world. And I wouldn't see that as a young designer in the industry. So I was just like, you know what, it's time to make a shift.
Now that we've spoken about what Yanko Design does, how did you get to Yanko Design? If I had to publish something through a Yanko Design, what would be the step-by-step process for me to get to it?
A lot of stuff organically reaches us, but we also encourage people to share stuff with us. So if you've got a portfolio, if you've got a Behance link, if you've got stuff on Instagram, anywhere, publication@yankodesign.com is the address that you share to. You can send stuff to me on Instagram, you can send stuff to me on LinkedIn.
Follow him.
Absolutely. Share stuff as much as you can, and we are very receptive, but ultimately we also do decide what we want to publish and what we don't want to publish.
Right. One of the things which you told us about, like if we get published, is getting validation. What are the real world opportunities that come in, if I had to ask?
I would say get published so that you know how popular your project can be or your product can be. If you do think that it is getting validated, you will see a lot of people commenting on it. You will see a lot of people visiting your website, which is what I saw as well. Consider like, reaching out to a couple of people and creating a company. A lot of people have done that where if they feel like their design project has some level of validation, they will create like a Kickstarter campaign and fund that project. Through Yanko Design, we've also noticed a lot of people have expressed interest in buying products. So if you can create some one-off or two-off concepts, there are people who are buying.
Right.
A lot of people are also interested in funding companies. So there have been people who've written to Yanko Design, and those emails do come into our inbox where does this company exist? I'd like to fund this company. So
do you have any big example? Can you give us like one example if you remember?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but we do work with award companies that have the purpose of the award is to sort of connect different aspects of the industry. So I will get to this later on in our conversation, but there's this award called the Design Intelligence Award, which is in China.
Right.
It is funded by the Chinese government, and winners of the award get to present and showcase to two very important groups of people. They get to showcase to the Chinese market, where regular consumers look at the design and they're like, this is great, but they also get to showcase to investors who will help for, like, fund and to build their company. Yanko Design obviously isn't at that stage where we're getting funding from some government, but the goal is obviously to create conversation between such parties. And we're working with Design Intelligence Award. We are one of their media partners.
Right.
So that goal has always
So
been
we need to understand that we are not really catering to only people who are learning about design, but you're also showing this, showcasing this to your investors and like people who might like stakeholders and people who
Our
might.
readers are Very diverse. Our
Right.
readers are non-designers, our readers are buyers, our readers are investors, our readers are tech and
I mean, that's the whole point, right? That you can cater to so many people. If I was to do a presentation about my design, it would be very design centric. Like I would talk about my design, that's about it. How it serves somebody, maybe that's your job to like write it in a way that everybody understands it. And if somebody
Absolutely.
right? So one more question pops up. Now, if we are talking about, say, like people who are already established in the industry, design industry, right? And if I am a student who's just entering into it, and my publication and their publication is side by side, like on the same page, how does that impact?
That doesn't matter on the platform because we don't stress that, oh, this company has won 15 awards and this student is just like a third year industrial design student. There is no discrimination or distinction on at least on Yanko Design. There are other blogs also that do this. But Yanko Design was one of the first. We've been around for 20 years, and for 20 years that has been the goal, that you know what, we showcase regardless of degree. So there's no level of insecurity that anybody should feel. Like I was like a 5-month graduate when my work was showcased on Yanko Design.
Right.
Along some companies that have won millions of dollars in funding and companies that have won so many awards. It doesn't matter. Platform is platform. Embrace whatever you get. Also be very well aware that your design will reach as many people from as many areas as possible. Be open to those conversations and just watch your design flourish. That's the point.
So now, say if I'm coming to you and sending you my work, what on a scale of authenticity to polished work, what kind of work should I be sending it to you? Like how much edits?
Don't worry about the quality of your work. Leave that to us. But what I tell a lot of designers is build something called a press kit or a media kit.
What is a press kit?
It is raw materials for people like us to write our articles.
Okay.
Have at least 5 images, if not more. Have maybe a video. Have maybe something GIFs or GIFs, whatever you want to call it, that sort of demonstrate how your product works, and give us 150 words minimum of what your design is. Plants only grow when you water them, right? So this press kit is basically water. It's fertilizer for what your plant is going to become.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit and try to like scrape very bad images off your Instagram profile. Give me high resolution images so I can showcase them on the blog.
Right.
Give me a description so that I don't have to guess what you were thinking. I will write my 1,000 words, but I need some level of like explanation from you.
Right.
Tell me what inspired you. Just give me some level of
Like
something to work with.
Like give the story behind it, maybe then you can rewrite it in a way that
Absolutely.
it caters to people.
I'll put my emotions and my thoughts into it, and you give me what your emotions and your thoughts are. And that's what. So that's what, at least in the media business, is called a media kit or a press kit.
Right.
Create that of maybe 2 or 3 of your top projects, and keep those ready. If you ever want to send them to any company, one small zip file, send it to them via email. I'm pretty sure people will open it and check it out, and then the conversation will go ahead.
Right. Just to summarize it, a good story or like your story, good image, good quality image.
Yeah, don't worry about, oh, I don't think my project is good enough. Don't get into that entire creative imposter nonsense. It's not worth it.
You will never get on it.
Share your stuff. Let us decide whether it's good enough. If it's not good, we're not going to embarrass you and publish it.
But do you think they can also give behind the scenes photos?
Absolutely. There are companies that write holistic stories. Yanko Design is not one of them.
Right.
We showcase the product. That's pretty much. We don't go into manufacturing. We don't go into like the process or anything like that. There are blogs that do that, by the way. Or the automotive industry has this entire like storytelling of how the car is manufactured and how the car is designed, and they show all those sketches and all that. That doesn't usually happen on Yanko Design with industrial design per se, but if you want to fill your press kit with as much mal as you want, go ahead. I mean, let the journalist decide what kind of story they want to tell.
I think nobody can tell now that they cannot feature something they know what to give.
Yeah, it's simple. Yeah, one zip file is all we're asking for. We're not asking for much. And a lot of stuff happens organically also. If I see something on Instagram, I reach out to people in their DMs and I'm like, bro, please, this is my email, send me stuff.
Right. Now that we know all of this, let's just try to zoom out from our country to like the whole world, right? Yeah. I mean, you were talking to me about China, you were talking to me about South Korea and how these people are actually doing design features like in those countries. How is it different? What is happening there first? Tell me, let's start from there.
China is a very different story, but it's a very crazy story. If you look at China as a country and if you look at the impression that they have, it's an impression of them copying shit. China is world famous for taking stuff and creating counterfeits and artificial versions of the same product. In the long run, that has not helped China's image. So somewhere down the line, I think someone in the government realized that we do have an impression of stealing other people's intellectual property. If we need to create an image where we are our own intellectual property, that has to be a very long-term goal and that has to be something that requires a lot of investment. So that was the genesis of DIA, the Design Intelligence Awards, where the government is funding design and design programs and design awards.
How do they fund? What are we
They have-
when they're saying funding?
So design colleges in China can apply for any design award across the world for free.
Okay.
The government, through the institution, or the institute, sorry, will pay for the participation fee. They will pay and they'll be like, participation fee is expensive, like for Red Dot or something like that, it's $99
Right.
minimum.
Yeah.
And that's about 8 grand. INR. Students don't have that kind of money.
Correct.
And a lot of students have good ideas. So
And some of the competitions are even more expensive.
even more expensive. There are some that go into $200, $300.
Yeah.
If you go to the second stage, you have to pay for the second stage
Right.
of judging.
Yeah.
China said, screw all that. The government can pay all this money. So they did that. Then they created an awards program. Taiwan has its own ministry for the promotion of design. Japan has the JIDP, which is the Japan Institute of Design Promotion. So these are institutions within the government that are, we need to promote this industry as well as, maybe manufacturing and tech, because this is also very important.
What does Japan do for the good design award exactly? What's the missions or
So-
the impact they're creating?
The JIDP organizes the Good Design Award, and it is an award that, again, students and companies can participate in. It gets showcased globally through media partners like Yanko Design, but if you go to Japan, they have an entire museum and they have areas where they exhibit stuff. The entire goal is, again, so much of our design is West-centric. If you look at the most famous colleges for design, they're all in the West. Nobody
Yeah.
has to be East for design. Everybody wants to go to Royal College of Art. Everybody wants to go to MIT design or whatever. Nobody wants to travel to the East. You also went to the West as well. So the entire push from countries like South Korea, Japan, China, Taiwan is to create an image of strong design driven through Eastern cultures in the East.
Why is this not happening here? And
I
what do we
think
get to learn from?
we can do an entire episode separately just on what India can do.
You know why I'm not answering this question and I'm asking you, because there's so much frustration inside of me that you're not doing anything around design.
You will also know better because you've actually experienced both those.
Oh
worlds.
yes, I mean, there's a dramatic difference between like what's happening here and there, because
Did you say dramatic or traumatic?
both. you got it right, both. Yeah, so you tell me, because you've observed more than me, you're writing about like these two countries, you're seeing what the differences are. What are we doing? Why are we going? I feel like we're going wrong in every direction, or are we not?
We are probably looking at design as money making rather than culture making or industry making, which is a sad story, because even if you look at handicrafts, everything becomes like a very money making. If you look at cottage industries, they are dying unless they get revived by a Fab India or Prada or something like that. Prada's
Oh
Kolhapuri.
God, Kolhapuri choppal.
A lot of stuff gets turned into a money-making conversation, and that's been happening in the design industry for a couple of years also. We've got close to 2,000 design institutes in India,
Yeah.
charging north of maybe 20 or 30 lakhs for a design program for good colleges.
Yeah.
That is a very horrible.
And it's not that we did not have design in our culture. Like we are actually culturally very
problem
ingrained. And
solving
like,
is and jugaad.
yeah, jugaad being one of the things, but also if you're going into like art or design in that matter,
There is a
we used to
lot
have
of-
very elaborate like forms of how do we create something, say
Look,
from architecture to smaller
handloom industry
Right.
is filled like every 100 kilometers you travel in the industry in the country, you'll have a separate form of weaving and a separate form of textile. There is a lot, but a lot of that either dies out because there's no money, or it gets bastardized by companies who want to make a quick.
Yeah, then why are we getting so furious about Prada taking Kolhapuri chappals and actually putting it out there, actually making sense, no? In a way.
Because Prada makes the money, huh? The
Correct, but-
person who makes the Kolhapuri
But
chappal
in
is not.
India, if we are not respecting what we are actually getting, then they are doing something at least.
This is also
This is the
the
platform.
this is also the problem with India is that we worship the West so much that we don't
Exactly
realize
correct.
this so much. We've adopted the Western version of design education without realizing that design education can be Indianized as well.
Yeah.
There is also a lot of stuff in the West that is happening that we are not copying, right? Like maybe we can talk about sometime later. We'll create another reel sometime in the future
Yeah.
about how the Indian design education system is
So-
years behind what the industry should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, money is flowing in a very different way. It should be flowing in a certain way, which is why I turned to writing when I could have easily made a good amount of money as an industry designer.
Now we're talking about awards, right? Like, why are these awards like really important for people? One, we are already getting validation from publications. What does the awards do?
I would say publications are much more important because what we do is free.
Right.
Most awards are not free because awards are in themselves a business. It takes money to print certificates, to
Yeah.
manufacture trophies, to hold events.
No, I'm trying to get at like these countries are holding all these award events, right? Like for designers. Why are they doing that?
That's one of their ways of celebrating good design. The award.
Why is that important? I was trying to get to this.
Celebrating good design, of course, it's important.
No, because we are not doing it.
The conversation, I think, if it happens on our level, to a decent scale, after a point, it will probably start happening on the government level as well. 2 months back, the government had this Waves Summit in Bombay that was basically for content creators. Because the government realizes the importance of content creators. If you look at Ranveer Alabadia's podcast, he's got so many politicians coming on because the podcasting setup has become a very valuable form of
Correct.
propaganda.
Yeah.
Similarly, if design can show itself to be as valuable, then I'm pretty sure India will also sort of have as many awards as possible. India does, to be very honest, but they're not as prominent. There's something called the India Design Mark, which is India's version of one of global. Like if you look at the Good Design logo gets put on winning products in Japan. So like if you go to Japan and if you see the Good Design logo on a product, you know that it is validated by the highest officials and the highest agencies in the country. India has that too, the India Design Mark, but where do you see it? You don't see it anywhere.
Right.
I never seen it on packaging, or maybe I glossed through it on packaging but not paid much attention.
I don't
That
think-
can happen.
See, now that you're telling me, I get to know about this, right?
You didn't know about the India Design
No.
Mark.
Exactly. So I don't know. Designers don't know. Then how will the general public know about it? It has to be created in a manner that everybody knows about it also, right? We are talking about all kinds of stupid things happening around the past, making it bigger, but these things are not spoken about as much. Why are not regular people, like how we go to museums, walking into these kind of award ceremonies and seeing what's happening around the past? You know, like
ओसाका में होगा ना अभी ओसाका में वो एक्सपो 2025 or 2026 I think it's for 2025 It's happening, and India has a massive pavilion over there. But if you go to the Indian pavilion, you will find like one replica of the Ram Mandir. That is not what India is. Yeah, seriously, we can have so much at that pavilion that showcases Indian creativity on the on the same level as global creativity. But there's there's a weird misunderstanding on some level. Plus,
More than misunderstanding, I think the system's not right. Like they need to set systems.
mindset is not
Also,
right also on the consumer level, to be very honest. Like,
That's
will a
okay.
consumer pay $1,000 more for something with an India design mark on it? Probably not.
Yeah,
But if you can
that's
have a conversation on what is a good product and what is a bad product, then maybe we won't be buying shit on Meesho. Sorry to talk smack about Meesho, but I mean seriously, yeah, we can light diyas. We don't need to buy cheap Chinese fairy lights. It's as simple as that.
That's true.
With enough conversation, we can create that sort of demand for
Right.
Indian design.
How important is it to talk about the story of design? Or is it?
It's important it is important for the designer's story to come through because a lot of designers design with, I think, problem solving in mind. So maybe the consumer will buy a product because it solves their problem. But it's very important to also tell the story of what problem the designer faced, which sort of like led to the process of them creating a product. Like if someone has a problem with, I've written about this one very random that it came to my head. So somebody designed, the banister upstairs, the railing. Someone designed on every landing, the banister turns into a bench. And the idea was like old people, when they're climbing up the stairs, if there's no elevator, they can sit on the bench for 5 minutes because there's no place to sit on a staircase. Nobody likes sitting on stairs.
Right.
This is probably something that this person either felt somewhere down the line or something that they saw their grandparents face. And that's the journey of what an idea is. You won't see that journey outside a design blog. You might see it on an award, but you won't see it to that extent outside the design blog because we're probing the designers for those stories. So that level of marketing is very important because people have unique experiences and unique experiences lead to unique designs. Where else can you have those conversations?
I think these conversations are important, these communities are important, the visibility of these stories are important.
Absolutely. We have 1.7 billion people. Are you trying to say that we cannot? We have enough people to look at our Olympics. Like we've hardly got any sports people, but we've got enough people in India to sort of enough Indians to fill the entire gymnastics team or fill the entire badminton roster. Similarly, we've got enough stories in India to create as many designs as possible to flood the market. Prada has noticed Kolhapuris now. There are Balenciaga, some company is starting to market, those jholas that those aunties take, those Vimal Pan Masala jholas.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff gets noticed now for some weird reason, but there is a lot that can be created and can be noticed as well. We are filled with stories.
I think the first step would be to actually come up with these kind of communities, right? Like we start talking inside of these communities and then start taking these conversations outside. Like say podcast, there are Curious Connect where there's a platform there calling on
That is
designers, right?
a great place for it is a great venting session.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of frustration within the design industry, and I think a lot of venting has been done here as well.
Yeah.
It's important to get all of that venting out, but then after that, it's also important to network. Which is
Exactly. Network and communicate and also take these stories to next level, like to your investors, to people who actually want to, outside of this community. We can't just be talking to each other and assume that people will know what's happening behind the curtains and stuff.
We can talk amongst ourselves, which is what networking events like Curious Connect are all about. But then I think somewhere down the line, we also start creating content where designers very candidly can talk to a vast audience. So through the form of short form videos or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have that conversation later on. We can easily record 1 minute of Prada's collab.
Oh, yeah. We can do it. Just saying.
Absolutely.
Just saying. I mean, I think it's also a very important step for India to take, right? Because we need to be well represented on these platforms, like whatever's happening outside. we need to take this step. Like, there's no like asking why, what's happening around it, but like start talking about your work. Come to Yanko Design. Send the work.
Send us up to Madhavi also.
Yeah, I think I want to tell this as well. Like, if you feel like your design, if you want to feel like your design's good, I don't think you'll ever. But if you feel like you want to talk about your design, please feel free to contact.
There are some people who are very, very open to talking about it. There are some people who just sit because they have creative imposter syndrome. I think it's important
Like,
for a
most
lot
of
of
them
people to
are-
step out of their shell.
Yeah. First of all, it's not like I can present my design similarly to a investor, to a blog post, to a say client, and like it's three different things, right? Or like in a school, or like a job.
Yeah, I think
Right.
I think I understand what you get it.
It's also very complex for me to sit here. First of all, I don't want to present like most of the students are like, oh my god, my design, and like I'm not the best, and like I'm still having this imposter syndrome. And but I need to cater to everyone differently.
Something that I realized somewhere down the line, when you're telling people to create a press kit, that is not what design portfolios are. Design portfolios are designed to be hired. Nobody creates press kits because nobody knows about this. Somewhere fundamentally down the line, I realized that your portfolio is a design project. Your portfolio cannot be created again in a vacuum. I'm using the vacuum term a lot, but your portfolio cannot be created with just the mindset of showing to employers.
Yeah.
When you create a portfolio, treat it as a project. Think about who your client is going to be. If your client is going to be a certain fashion company, tailor your project to that fashion company. If your portfolio is probably going to be seen by VCs, tailor your portfolio to VCs. If your portfolio has the potential of being showcased on a design platform, tailor your portfolio for the design platform. It's very important to think of your portfolio and broadly also your life as a form of a design project.
Yeah. No, I think the portfolio, it's in itself is a way of telling this is my design language, this is how I think, and that's very important to, like, it's okay to be nervous about making a portfolio and taking some time. You shouldn't be like pushing, saying, okay, I'll just create something, I'll just put 100 words and random images.
This is how I think is a very important part of your portfolio, but also asking yourself, what should I do to get hired is also a very important part of your portfolio.
Yes.
Like, you need to have that level of retrospective approach. I do have an Instagram post that is one of my best Instagram posts. It's called Be a Dessert. And the idea is that, imagine you're eating this really, really massive thali. Your stomach is full. But you see like one jalebi or one gulab jamun there and you're like, nahi, mereko wo khana hai. I create space in my stomach just for that tiny little jalebi or gulab jamun or rabdi or whatever it is. The design industry, or at least you as a professional or as a recruit, can work in the same way. When you send your portfolio out to companies and they say we are not hiring, that is a bullshit excuse. Everybody is hiring. Maybe you're not good enough. The idea is to be a dessert, to create that sort of feeling in an employer where they look at you and they're like, you know what, I need to create space. If they are at full capacity, they will fire someone else to hire you. That is something that will happen in the industry if you're good enough.
Agreed.
So think about your portfolio from that POV. Like, make yourself a dessert. Be appealing to your employer in a way, like, don't dress in a provocative way that you get hired. Obviously, that's not my meaning. But create that impression that employers will make space in their company for you the way we make space because we are hungry for ice cream, even though we're completely full after our meal.
It was great to have you here, buddy. Right?
It was great.
Really lovely conversation, and I hope everybody sees this and actually goes to Yanko Designs and also follows you. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.